wanted to come in and let you know that this is going to be a long video because I'm going to blather about Maryland sheep and wool and some of the things that I got there. And before we get on with our scheduled episode, I wanted to let you know where you can find the podcast and myself. You can find the podcast on Rav at Nickel O's World Podcast. You can find us on iTunes under Nickel O's World Podcast. You can find us on YouTube under Nikki18229. You can find show notes at my blog, which is nickelos.blogspot.com. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me at Nickel O's World Podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. And if you're wondering where you can find me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry as Nikki18229, and on YouTube as Nikki18229. And all of that will be at the end on the credits as well. So without further ado, here is your scheduled program. Hello, and welcome to episode 30 of Nickel O's World Podcast. I am your host, Nicole. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time checking me out, thank you so much for checking me out. And I hope you come back for another week. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back another week. How are y'all? Good, I hope. Alright, we got some things to talk about. We got my Maryland sheep and wool trip to talk about, administrati, finished objects, and a whole pile of other stuff. So let's dive right into it. Let me take these off. I'll be blind for a little bit. Oh, hang on, I dropped something. And we shall discuss it. Alright, let's go and jump into administrati. First of all, I think, fingers crossed, that I figured out the iTunes feed problem. I spoke with the folks at Apple support. I did it via message. You can post a message to a thread. And I spoke to somebody and I said, I think I'm having trouble with my link, or it could be my hosting site, but my hosting site hasn't gotten back to me. And I gave him the link to the podcast, and I said, I don't understand what's going on. Nobody from Podcast Garden has gotten back to me to give me any clue as to what it would be. So he got back to me and said, part of the problem is your file size. He said, I clicked on your last episode, and he said in order for it to download would be 3 hours. And he said, nobody's going to wait 3 hours to listen to a podcast or wait for a podcast to be downloaded. He said what's happening is people are maybe watching it before it fully downloads. And he said he clicked on it himself before it fully downloaded. He said it played fine, and then all of a sudden I just froze. It just stopped, and it was like that way for quite a long while. And then it started playing again, and then it started freezing up again. So he told me what I need to do is get my megabytes smaller and see if that helps. So yesterday, I racked my brain. I'm like, how do you make the megabytes smaller to upload to my hosting site who uploads to iTunes? And I thus found out I need, because this is a video podcast, I need a video converter or a video compressor. One of the questions asked was, is it because I'm using Windows Live Movie Maker? I said, I don't have the 2.6 version. I said, I just have the version where it lets me just connect right to my webcam and record right through there. And he said, that's not the problem, so I can continue doing it the way I'm doing it. However, I downloaded several compressors or converters to convert video. Because when I save this, I save it already as an MP4. And I use this converter thing called Handbrake. And it was saving it as an MP4B. Well, Podcast Garden doesn't recognize that. They only recognize MP4 or MP4A. So that didn't work. So then I tried this one called Any Converter, and it converted my last podcast from 236 megabytes down to 94.5 megabytes. And in case you guys are wondering, it's uploaded to episode 29 is uploaded to iTunes. And what I did was last night, to make sure that it was playing right, is I watched it. And it is playing correctly. However, if you watch it before it fully downloads, like, it'll freeze up for like a little bit, and then it'll start to play again. So those of you that watch me on iTunes, you're safe to watch me back on iTunes. I hopefully found the problem, and I'm working to make the megabytes smaller. And if you know of a good video converter or video compressor to compress video files down to put on a hosting site, please let me know, because that info will be rocking. Not that the one I downloaded last night is hard, but if this one is much better than what I have, please let me know. That would be awesomely rocking. Alright, let's see here. Alright. A podcast that I listen to called Smells Like Yarn with Russ. He is having a monthly dishcloth along, and this month's dishcloth along, the pattern happens to be holeless mitered dishcloth. So that's that one, and I am participating in that. And sorry, I'm looking at my show notes and I don't got my glasses on. Maybe I should put them on and I could see better, so y'all will get a glare for a little while. I'm also opening a thread in our RAV group, and excuse me, I don't know how to do it in YouTube. I don't know if there's a way to start a thread in YouTube for it, but I am going to start a thread called What Podcasts Are You Listening To? Because I figured that would be fun. We all listen to different podcasts, and we kind of like to talk about what we listen to, and I figured that would be a great place. Just like, we'll start a whole list. You can just comment back, and eventually what I'll do is either just leave the comments that way of what you listen to, or I'll just go and type up a whole list. I don't know, but I'm going to open the thread, and you guys feel free to put down and say what podcasts you'd like to listen to. I don't care how many you put. You can just put them down, and we can openly share the info. But on a side note, please let everybody know if it's only on iTunes or if it's only on YouTube. And if it's audio or video, so maybe that some people know. And happy birthday to everybody that has a birthday in May. Happy birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to you. And also, I know it's very early, but I want to wish all the mothers out there a very happy, wonderful Mother's Day. And if you're pregnant and you haven't had your beautiful baby yet, happy soon to be Mother's Day. That is, I'm checking my chicken scratch here. That is all. So I guess we should go into finished objects. I kind of have two, but one is spinning related. So I'm going to leave that till I go into spinning. So I will show you my finished object. Uh-oh, I think I muted you guys. Hang on. Okay, hopefully this should have audio now. I think I kind of muted you and you probably couldn't hear the last part. That was my error because I set something down. But we're going into finished objects, and I have one this week. And it is the dishcloth along that I was talking about from Smells Like Yarn. I did holeless, reversed, miter squared dishcloth without holes. It's a free pattern on Rav, and it's by Kathleen Baer, B-A-E-R, Bear. And I don't want to give the pattern away, even though it's a free pattern. But that's what it looks like. Very easy. I loved it. And this is what it looks like. It came out wonderful. And again, it's a dishcloth, so I'm not worried about getting gauge on it. It's a dishcloth. You wash with it. Here's what it looks like the other way. I know I may not have ends weaved in, but again, it's a dishcloth. Alright, let's go in to what I'm working on. Alright, we're going into what I'm working on, and my vanilla latte socks got love this week, guys. I've been actually working on all my projects this week, believe it or not. I give them a little bit of love here, a little bit of love there, and we spread it all around. I am actually over halfway done with this one. I am almost at the toe decrease. If you're wondering, this pattern is Vanilla Latte Socks by Virginia Rose James, and it's a free pattern on Rav. It is a cuff. It's cuffed down. So here's what it looks like so far. I did the fish lips kiss heel. It's not the heel that they called for, but it's the heel I want it to do. And this is where I'm at. I soon have to start the toe decreases, which is right down around in here somewhere. I think I'll start it right about in here somewhere. I'll start toe decreases before that dotted line. So it's coming along nicely, and then I'll have another one to make. And is the tag in here? Yes, it is. In case you're new and you're wondering what I'm using, I am using SRK On Your Toes 4-ply sock yarn with aloe vera, 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 390 yards, 360 meters, 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon. And I think it's pronounced Kurtzer. I'll show you the tag in the website. The tag, not the website. I'll show you the tag, which has the website on it. And it is in sunset print. Here is the name of the website and the socks. And here is the colorway. I bought this at a store called Tuesday Mornings. If you have one in your area, I suggest you should check it out. It is lovely. Alright. What I'm doing is I'm weaving my other double pointed needle in there just so that I don't lose it, because if I don't, I will lose my DPN. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's lost DPNs. Alright, my next work in progress is being kept in my cupcake bag. I love this bag. I won it in the Pen Hook and Needles sweater along. I am working on the Father Time neck warmer by Steve from Dramatic Knits. It's a free pattern on Rav. It is basically almost like an infinity neck warmer. I love it. Here is what it looks like. I think it looks great. And if I can, I'll get a close-up shot so you guys can see it. That's what it looks like. And if you're wondering what it calls for, a skein of fingering weight yarn, 3.5 millimeter or US 40-inch needles, circular needles. And it is very easy. The pattern basically just repeats, and you can basically make this as long as you want. You can make it as short or as long as you want. And this got some work done on it this week. Not a whole lot. I actually put in a little dibbly-doo right here so that you guys can see where it's at. I know it absolutely does not look any different from when I showed you guys from last week. But there's my little dibbly-doo right here. As I said, I know it doesn't look any different. Hopefully, as I make progress and this moves up, you'll be able to see it. But it got some love on it this week. I love the color. Uh-oh. I dropped a little booty that holds my stitches on. Hang on. This won't be a podcast if I wasn't dropping stuff. I have a beginning of the round stitch marker on here, so that I know for my own peace of mind that I went all the way around. I know it looks bunched up on the needles because it is, but it's not twisted in any way. The yarn I got from AC Moore. It was I think it's called Yarn 2 Basics. I have 2 skeins of it. Hopefully it'll be enough. If not, when I go to AC Moore, I'll see if they have some more like it. But again, that's what it looks like. I love the coloring. It is, to me, I find it a very relaxing knit. I tend to work on it when I'm watching TV because, to me, it's mindless potato chip-ish. Alright. My other work in progress is for my autism calico / AA, hashtag AA 2014. I am participating in Pen Hook and Needles Autism. I just butchered that. I am participating in Pen Hook and Needles Autism Awareness Calico. And if you're interested, go visit the Pen Hook and Needles group and their podcast. The Cal is going on, I believe, to the end of June. I'm not 100% certain. I think it's like to June. Is there 30 or 31 days? January, February, March, April, May, June. No, there's only 30 days in June, so it would be to the 30th. But anyways, it is for their autism awareness. And this is my cowl. It's called the Monster Cowl. And it is by... Oh, I didn't bring... Oh, yes, I did. Yes, you did, Nicole. Julie Allen. By Julia Allen. I'm sorry, by Julia Allen. I've been working on this. You think I would know it by now. But it's by Julia Allen. It is a paper pattern on raft. I absolutely love this pattern. It is fun. That's what the pattern looks like knit up. I think it's totally cute. And I am using Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable yarn in the Parrot colorway. That's the yarn I'm using. And if you're interested in the colorway, that is the colorway. You guys already know how I feel about this yarn, so I'm not going to go on about it. But I have made, you guys, in a week, significant progress on this. And you guys remember here is where I was last week with the little doobly-dooies, my little elephant, my little good luck elephants. And here, there, and here's where I'm at this week. So I made quite a bit of progress. I'm proud of myself on that one. So now that you guys seen it officially, I'm going to move the stitch marker up to here. I have this skein I'm using and another skein. I'm going to use both skeins and make one huge long monster cow. And I'm not worried that I won't be able to wear it during the summer. That's quite okay, because as it's finally starting to warm up here in PA, yay, it's starting to warm up finally. It's going to make for some nice summer knitting because it's not going to be heavy. And if you're wondering about the colorway, yes, it is that bright because the colors are bright, obviously. I love how it just fades into each color. And the colors are bright because, again, it's for an autism cow, and these just spoke to me. And if you guys know me well enough, you know I love color. I don't like to do drab. I like bright as well. I like your plain colors, and I also love your bright colors. And if you're wondering, I'm doing a provisional cast on. That is a new to me cast on, which was not as hard as I thought. This is like, instead of calling this episode Happy Mother's Day, maybe I should change it to the many works in progress. I know I said I wouldn't cast any on, but I had to do a palette cleanser in between working on this. And the last thing I am working on is another dishcloth. I was using my Clover US 8 5mm straight needles, but I don't know if it's... Yes, I just dropped something if you heard it. I don't know if it's because I'm using cotton yarn and I haven't used straight needles in ages, and I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I since changed the straight needles out to circulars, and my hands don't seem to hurt as bad, and they're not as sore. I mean, this little guy is aching me because I got a couple thorns stuck in it yesterday cleaning the yard, so he's a little sore, but that's okay. I love roses, but I hate getting near them because I get the thorns. Anyways, this is the progress that I have so far on the holeless mitered square, reverse mitered square dishcloth. I think it's coming out great. I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. I don't know the colorway of this because this either I lost the ball band because this was deep in my stash. I have stash over here in a basket, and it's deep. There's deep stash in there. I have stash over there too, behind my recliner. But this came out of deep stash over here in a basket, and I don't have the ball band. So I'm thinking this was used on another project, and I tossed the ball band away. But anyways, it's a yellow. I want to say it's the same yellow. Yeah, it is. This skein matches this one. So the colorway is called Country Yellow by Lily's Sugar and Cream. I love the color. I am a fan of it. Obviously, I have another ball of it. I love this color. I hope they still make this colorway because it's pretty. So I'm making a dishcloth. Hopefully it'll use all this up. I don't know how many of these I'm going to make. Maybe I'll just make 2. Maybe I'll make 3. Maybe I'll make 4. I don't know. I have an entire month to make as many of these dishcloths as I want. So we shall see. So that is all that I am knitting. As far as my projects that I have on the hooks and needles. I've showed you everything. My tank top that I am crocheting, I have put that in hibernation for a while. Because it's just, I gotta figure out the bust shaping. I'll figure it out, but I'm putting it in hibernation right now. Hopefully somebody will be able to help me with that. Alright. I guess we'll go into what I'm spinning. In case you guys didn't know, I spin. I haven't talked about it in almost a year. And that's because I don't know what it was. I just put the spindle down. But going to Maryland Sheep and Wool just inspired me to get back to spinning again. It made me realize how much I love it. Part of my finished objects is I have it wrapped on my homemade ball winder using an empty TP holder. This right here, guys, is 3 strips of yarn. Now, granted, my spinning isn't perfect. I've only been spinning for about a year, give or take. So, I'm still learning as I go, but this is what it looks like so far. I mean, there are some areas where it looks like it did not spin at all. That it just looks like some puffed up fiber. But, you know, that's okay because I'm still learning. I don't know if I want to leave this as a single ply or make it a 2-ply, but here's what it looks like. I mean, you will see some thin and thick, so I'm thinking because there is some thin bits that maybe I'll make it a 2-ply. You guys gotta understand, this is 4 ounces that I got in a braid, and I was able to divide them into 6, I call it strips. I know that's not probably the right name for it, but I call them strips. But I have 3 strips in here yet. I divided them into 3 strippies. I have 2 more in here, but I'll show you. 3. Oh, maybe I have 4. 4 strips. But here's what it looks like before you spin it. The color is just gorgeous. I got this last year up at the Endless Mountain Fiber Festival up in Hartford, Pennsylvania. Or Hartford, Pennsylvania, however you want to say it. I just love it. I think I have the tag in here. Yes, I do. It's called Laura Fox Farm Hand-Dyed Superwash Merino Roving, 4.1 ounces. It doesn't give a colorway, but that's what it is, and that's how much I paid for it. And, is that the right one? Hang on, I got more in here. Nope, that's the right one. But I do have a strip that I am working on. Now, I will tell you that the strip I'm working on, what I'm spinning here is what I had to break off of here. I had to break this strip because this cob was on my spindle, and my spindle was spinning wonky. It was going brrr, it was going like that, and that wasn't good. So I took it off and put it on there. And this is how much I have on my spindle right now. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen it. And this is how much I have left to go of that strip, of that 3rd strip, and then I have 4 more in here. And if you're wondering what that black stuff is, That's some excess left over that came off of some old spinning. What I do as I'm spinning it, as I get to the end of a section, if I have stuff that came off or just broke off as I was spinning, at the end of a strip, I just put it aside. And what I'll do is eventually when I get enough of it, I'll just spin that up into a funky little fiber band. But this is just gorgeous. I was surprised after I got back in the groove of spinning. Like, it's consistent here. And then it goes into a little non-consistency, consistent and non. And then thin. And then that. So, I don't think that's bad for getting back into my spinning. I think it came out really good. And, like, if you're wondering what kind of method I do for spinning, I've tried, let's see if I can do it here. I've tried to do it where you just do it like this. And you just keep going. And going. But I tend to do the park and drive method where you spin it and then you park it and then you pinch it and then you let it go. I tend to do that. I don't know why. I find that more easier. Maybe because that was the way I was taught. I'm self-taught. I learned it off of a YouTube video. And that's where I learned how to spin. I don't know if that's the right method, but it seems to work for me. It's where, like, you'll spin it up like that and then maybe park it here and then let go. Spin, let it build, park, let go. I tend to do it that way. I don't know if it's right, but a lot of times when I park it, what I'll do is I'll just hold it between my legs and just... But I've been trying to do this method of spinning, which is spin the spindle and feed the yarn. Yeah, I got a little too thin and it snapped. But that's okay, guys. Because as I said, I'm still learning. No biggie, I'll fix it. I got some really thin parts to my yarn. And while I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to fix this. I guess this next section will bring me into Maryland shipping rule as I'm talking to you fixing this. I had a wonderful time. I missed the podcaster meetup. I didn't know what time it was going to be at. I didn't get to the fairgrounds till about 12:30ish. Give or take is when I got there. And I didn't know what to expect because it was my first year of going. It was my first time I ever went. And I didn't know what to expect. When I got there, it was overwhelming to me. I was like, oh my gosh, where do I go? What do I see? What do I do? And part of me, I should have asked you all, like, where do I go? What do I see? What do I do? Blaza, blaza, blaza. And I had no plan in mind. When I went, I just decided I would decide when I get there what I was doing. My friend that went with me, him and I had no plan in mind. We just picked one direction and went. And had a great time. We went from barn to barn looking. We went to each section. I caught some live demos, which was amazing. I caught the auction. I didn't buy anything. I was good. Met some interesting, lovely vendors. And met some lovely, interesting people. I didn't get to meet anybody from online. It was crowded, and I didn't honestly expect that I would run into anybody, but that's okay. I still had a great time meeting people, talking to people, seeing things, learning different things. My friend and him and I had such a great time doing that. And in fact, we can't wait to go back again next year. I did give a $5 donation. It was well worth it. Wonderfully organized. Parking was organized. Getting out was great. I left at like 4:30ish because I figured it closed at 6, that it could be a mat house to get out. Great vendors. The only thing to me, maybe, I guess, because I wasn't looking for anything in particular, that I noticed were prices. To me, some of the things were pricey to me, and I was like, no. I will say I finally got to see Spanish peacock. His spindles are absolutely gorgeous in person. Camera does not do as much justice as seeing it in person. I would like to get a Spanish peacock. I didn't get one there. I didn't see any that called to me. So I'm going to go check his shop when he has it open. However, I did buy at Maryland Sheep and Wool. But before I'm going to hold you guys in suspense. I was a good girl, as I said. I went there. Excuse me if you have your earbuds in. I went there. I didn't have anything in mind. Like, I didn't bring a magazine along and say, okay, Nicole, you're buying a sweater's worth of this, or you're buying a quantity worth of this, or, oh, you gotta buy this yarn, or you gotta buy that fiber. I will say there was only one place I did have in mind when I went, but that was it. And it was, if I got to that booth, fine. If not, fine. I can always order it online. My feeling is when I go out somewhere is if I'm meant to buy something, I will buy it. Like when I go antiquing, if I'm meant to have it, I'll get it. Or I'll find it to get. I looked at things and some things jumped out at me. Some didn't. There were a couple stalls that things jumped out at me and they were gorgeous color yarns, but I couldn't deem paying $30 for one skein and not knowing what I was going to make. And knowing that one skein wouldn't be enough. Which was okay. I was obviously not meant to buy any yarn there. Which is okay. There were vendors like Loop that were there. They were crowded. So I was like, no, I can go buy online at Loop. Miss Babs was crowded. And my friend said to me, he's like, Nicole, do you want to go? We'll go over. I said, no, I'm like, it's crowded. I can go get Miss Babs online. There was this place, and I wish I would have got his business card. And you guys that went, you'll probably know who I'm talking about. He was catty-cornered from Miss Babs. He was selling fiber, and he offered like a 10% discount on cash and credit card, I think it was. Excuse me. No, I'm sorry. It was either a cash or credit card. He offered 10%, and he had some really great fibers at really great, amazing prices. But I didn't get any because it was like 4 o'clock-ish around there. And I knew we were going to soon get ready to head home. And I didn't want to stand in the line. I should have got a business card. I should have seen if he was online. But I didn't. Maybe one of you guys bought from him, or you know who I'm talking about. If you do, can you tell me if he has an online shop? Because I really would have loved to buy something. Anyways, enough teasing. I will show you what's in the bag. I got from my lovely $5 donation a beautiful, as I'm throwing it at you, sheep and wool. And this little booklet came in handy. And plus it has the name of vendors on there that I can just look up if I want something. Some brochures. I finally, well, that'll go along with this. But I stopped at one of my favorite places that I've been looking at her fiber for ages. And Emily and Kim and lots of other people have been talking about it. And I've been drooling over it and looking at the Sedator fiber. And it is Gourmet Stash by Kate. I got 2 skeins of fiber. I am so happy. I got her trebles, which is 2 ounces. And it is Vacation something. It's Superwash Merino, Super Fine Merino, Superwash Merino, Merino, Tussa Silk, Bamboo, Silk Sari, and Angelina. And I'll take it out. Here's the front. You guys can't see it too well, but I'll take it out. It smells so good. But here's what it looks like. It is gorgeous. I just love it. The camera's not doing it justice. It's just gorgeous. I have 3, 4, 5 of these in here. It's just gorgeous. And I had a hard time picking a color out. I loved all the colors. I wanted to take them all home with me. And Kate is super amazing to do business with. The other one is Spin a Square Kit by Gourmet Stash. It is Pulworth Silk and Merino. And the colors are cool neutral. And I will open it up and show you guys. I didn't open it up yet. This is my first time, so if you got earbuds, I'm sorry. But you got some purples. Kind of see it on my shirt, purplish. You got a gray. You got a seafoamy green, which this is the color my bedroom walls actually. It's gorgeous. And black, I believe. Yeah. And black. So you have the colors in this order. They're gorgeous. I don't know how I'm going to spin them up, if I'm going to spin them up in this way. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just spin them each separate. But I'm thinking to spin them all together and make a very funky, cool color looking yarn. As I said, I was reserved. I really didn't know what, like, I wasn't after anything in particular. I knew I wanted a Gourmet Stash. But I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if Kate had the good crowd in there, and I was like, if Kate was too busy, I just ordered online. I didn't have to buy it right there. But I got in, I found what I wanted, and I got it. And the other thing I got, and I heard about it advertised on several podcasts, it's called Lolo Bar Head to Toe Moisturizer. And it is rub a little head to toe, especially the dry spots. And it's by Barmaids. You can find this at www.bar-maids.com. And it says Gourmet Stash on it. It doesn't say the scent on it. Oh, but it smells absolutely amazing. Oh, here is what it looks like. Oh. Oh. It smells very spring and summerish and floral a little bit. Just gorgeous. I love it. I do actually love lotion bars. I love to carry them in my knitting bags because your hands do get dry and you can just rub and you're good to go. So barmaids, I know you're not watching my podcast, but anybody that loves barmaids, yeah, or if you get a chance, actually I should say, anybody that loves barmaids, yeah, I know why you love this now. And anybody that's never tried barmaids, I have drank the Kool-Aid and I love it. Definitely get you some barmaids. This is their Traveler, I believe. I believe this is their Traveler bar. But it's absolutely amazing. So, that is all that I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool besides like brochures I picked up. So, that is everything that I have. I am going to let you guys go, and I will see you again next week. I hope that if you're celebrating Mother's Day, I hope you have a great Mother's Day. If you're not, I hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. And don't forget anybody, even if it's not a mother, like, even if you don't have your mother, maybe go visit, put some flowers on her grave. Or if there's somebody that's like a mother to you, go visit them, get them something. If you have your grams still around, get your grams something for Mother's Day. I know I am. So, until next week, bye guys. Remember, be safe, be kind, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Bye.